Hello, Reds. What a win that was then. Liverpool are back to winning ways. A 2-0 victory over Sheffield United. And what a feeling it is to have 3 points in the bag. I'll break the game down in a minute. But first of all, what a feeling it is to finally have that feeling of getting back to winning ways, a victory, a good performance. It's an interesting one because we know the calibre of Sheffield United. We know, based on their situation in the Premier League this season, they're probably going to be in the Championship next season. They're bottom of the league. They've not been performing well all season. They've not been good in front of goal. There was a couple of warning signs, but it was a good performance nonetheless, and we've come away from the game during a difficult period for the football club, and we've got the victory and the 3 points. I just want to start by talking about the first half. The first half, I think, was frustrating. Chance after chance. Aaron Ramsdale did a typical poor keeper performance against Liverpool, where the poor keepers seem to have their best game of their career against Liverpool. Interesting one. But yeah, Bobby had a couple of chances, but I think that he should have put to bed, but didn't. And we went into half time frustrated, still at 0-0. But I did feel like a goal was coming. I really did. And the second half, we came out looking really good straight away. Curtis Jones obviously got the goal. I was worried because from the first angle, it looked like the ball may have gone out of play. But obviously, you see from the other angles that the whole ball wasn't over the line. And Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think, did exceptionally well to keep the ball in and get it across there. And the finish from Curtis Jones, who was outstanding today, was just exceptional. And I do want to talk about Curtis Jones before I move on. Man of the match performance from him today. He was absolutely outstanding. I've praised this lad so much in the last few weeks, and I can't stop praising him. I spoke to nothing but Reds before the game, and we said that at the minute he's undroppable because the performances he's putting in are just absolutely phenomenal every week, and he's coming away from games where, yes, as a team we've been below par, but he has been one of the only bright sparks in this Liverpool side in recent weeks. And I think he's been taken off a bit too soon in games, but today once again he was just phenomenal. Got a goal, was a big part, played a big part in the second goal. And I often praise him for just his evolution as a player, and how he's fitting in really well into the Klopp system as an 8 now. But he showed his ability still in front of goal this evening, and he was such a key performer in the 2-0 win today. So keep your comments coming in about Curtis Jones. I'll try and dissect the rest of the game, but I do want to talk about Curtis Jones with you lot because he was so good, so creative. He's so good on the ball. He's improving every game off the ball as well. And yeah, he's just so creative. Such a good performance from Curtis Jones today, who has been so key for us in recent weeks, and probably earned his start against Chelsea with that performance today. The second goal, I'm gutted that it didn't get credited to Bobby Firmino. He danced through everyone. You can tell he needs a goal at the minute, but it also probably brings up a couple of warning signs that he was going to drag the ball wide after he did all the hard work. So we know about Firmino. It's quite frustrating. His movement is outstanding, often on the ball. He's so important for Liverpool and our fluidity going forwards. His movement is just incredible. You can see so many times today he gets himself in good positions on the ball. He creates good positions and good moments for the players. He dances through, but it's always the final thing for Bobby Firmino, and he's really having a bit of an issue in front of goal at the moment. So yeah, I'm gutted for him that he didn't get credited with the goal, but hopefully he can get himself on the score sheet against Chelsea, and you can see how much it meant for him in the celebration after the goal, when obviously he probably felt that it was his goal at that point. You can see what it meant to him, and hopefully it does his confidence the world of good. I thought there was some performers that went under the radar a bit today. I thought Gini played really well. I thought Mane and Salah looked bright, though Salah obviously missed a bit of a sitter towards the end. He looked bright. There was a couple of really bright things from Mo Salah today. But yeah, the standout performer for me is young Curtis Jones, who I can't praise enough after that performance. I thought Trent played well again. Robbo, we saw in the first half, Robbo was the more advanced one on that left-hand side. We were trying to attack with him very high on the left. The second half, we switched it round, and it was Trent who was in the more advanced role on the right. We were attacking more down the right-hand side, and it worked. You know, the Curtis Jones goal came from there, and the second goal as well came from the right-hand side. So it worked, that little change up in the second half. And yeah, let me get into the comments, because there's quite a lot on Curtis Jones. Jake Men says Curtis Jones is a baller. Hussia Cat says Jones can fill Genie's role easy. MKH31 says Curtis Jones played immense and full of confidence, rightly so. Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. He's full of confidence right now, and he has every right to be confident. You know, in a team at the moment that is lacking confidence, the bright spark has been Curtis Jones. You know, in the last few games where we've come away with nothing, Curtis Jones has been the one, you know, the one person that after the game we've been complimenting and saying that we want to see more of him. And today, you know, I said before the game, I wanted to see him again. We saw him again on the team sheet, rightly so. He's earning it at the moment with his performances that he's putting on the pitch, putting in on the pitch. And once again today, a man the match performance from him, the best player in a Liverpool shirt today, and you know, a really, really outstanding performance. Hussia Cat says the football algorithm suited Jones today. Really was his day. It says here from MKH31, we'll keep up the momentum and the performance. We won't allow Chelsea to attack. We're on the right track to getting back in the top 4 this weekend. Sorry, everything has gone right for us. Yeah, we've had a few good things go our way in terms of results-wise this weekend as well. So it was a massive, massive victory. But you do expect us to get 3 points in those kind of games against Sheffield United. But it will do our confidence a world of good going into what is an absolutely huge game against Chelsea on Thursday. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But I do want to cover this game first. David Waddington says, and this is high praise for Curtis Jones, he says, Jones, the new Gerrard. I'm not sure about that. He's got a long way to go before that, but I do like what I see, and I constantly praise, you know, it's not just his ability, it's his evolution as a player. You know, he's showing that he can do so much as a player that came through the academy as a left winger, played in the 10, you know, an inside forward under Steven Gerrard in the under-18s. And now he's become the perfect number 8 in a Jurgen Klopp system. And it's so impressive. You know, his skills range is outstanding. He's so good on the ball. And as we say, you know, he's playing with confidence. He's playing with rhythm. And he is a real bright spark for us at the moment. So it's impressive. But as I say, not quite sure about the comparisons to Gerrard yet. Salim says we should have got more goals. Yeah, in the first half, I feel as though if it weren't for Aaron Ramsdale, we would have kind of gone into the break, you know, 2 or 3 goals up. We were dominant throughout the whole game, really. But, you know, it was one of them. We struggled to break them down initially. We struggled to put the ball in the back of the net initially, but you know, once we put the ball in the back of the net and gone 1-0 up, I don't think the win was in doubt, even though I think when Ollie Burke came on, he changed the game really from an attacking perspective for Sheffield United. They looked a lot more dangerous. Also, I think we need to talk about as well where we luckily got away with one, obviously an offside decision, but there was an own goal from Kabak. I still think there was a couple of things to be wary of. I'm still a bit worried if we go into the Chelsea game with that centre-back pairing. I really am. So I'm crossing everything. I'm hoping and I'm praying that Fabinho will be back fit for the Chelsea game on Thursday night. That would be a huge boost for us. And let me know in the comments what you think. When Fabinho comes back, do you slot him in at centre-back or do you put him in midfield? For me, he has to go at centre-back because, as I say, I'm a bit wary of that centre-back pairing at the moment. I wasn't too convinced today, and it's important for us to remember that Sheffield United have been poor in front of goal all season, and at times we did look a bit ropey at the back still. But, you know, I was also impressed with Adrian today. It kept a clean sheet. He didn't have too much to do, but when he was needed and when he was called upon, he made a couple of decent saves. So I do think it's a good performance from him, and credit where credit's due, because he faces a lot of criticism, Adrian, for poor performances. And like I say, not too much to do today, but what he did have to do, he did well, and it's as simple as that. But another one, I said before the game, and I've said all week, as long as Alisson needs, he should take. I hope he'll be back for Thursday's game, but there's more to life than football. And he's just lost his dad in what is bizarre and really unfortunate and upsetting circumstances. So, it's one where he needs to take it however long he needs. And we will, as Liverpool fans, we're bound to be worried going into that Chelsea game with Adrian in goal. Obviously, Kelleher isn't fit at the moment, but it hopefully was a good boost for the Spaniard to get a clean sheet today. Let's have a look at this. Supreme Savage saying, did you see Jones on Sky? Yes, a very, very mature interview from Curtis Jones, where he dedicated his goal to Alisson's dad, which I thought was lovely. And you could see the passion in him as well doing that. And, I think, as I say, the maturity from Curtis Jones to do that at 20 years old just shows the player he's becoming and the person he's becoming. And he's growing in confidence. So I am really, it was a brilliant interview. And if you haven't checked that out, I suggest you do. And I hope you enjoyed what a win that was then at the start. Jake Men says, Gini putting in a really good performance. Yep, he was brilliant today, and that's what we've missed in recent weeks. Leaders in midfield and performances like that from Gini Wijnaldum. I thought he was very, very good today. He really was. Neil McElhenney says Gini was perfect today. Christoph says good game for Liverpool. Yes, mate, so much better for us. As I say, they're the games you expect us to win. Chelsea's going to be the big test on Thursday, but nonetheless, that will give us the boost going into that game that we need. And instead of doing what we did against Leipzig, where, like today, we got a 2-0 win, but then we go into the Merseyside derby and we were poor from the start of that game. I want us to use that confidence booster from today, use the energy from that win and take it into the game against Chelsea, because that is going to be such a pivotal game in our race for the top four. So we really need to go into that full of energy, full of character and full of spirit, and really take the game to Chelsea and what is a much improved Chelsea side under Thomas Tuchel, and who got a point out of Manchester United today. Comment here from Decoy saying, opinion on Liverpool maybe signing a new striker as Firmino doesn't grab many goals. Yeah, I'd love us to sign a striker. I think most people are expecting Divock Origi to go in the summer, and therefore I do think we'll need to sign a striker and to bring someone in who can, at least pressure Firmino, because at the minute Firmino is not doing very well in front of goal, but we haven't got anyone on the bench to turn to say, yeah, we'll put them on because they're going to score goals, because Divock isn't doing that when he's being put on the pitch at the moment. And, there's been Klopp's been spoken about in the past, the likes of Oxlade-Chamberlain playing in the false nine and stuff like that, but I feel like we need a goal scorer within the squad. I spoke to Darren McAntony a few weeks ago, the Peterborough owner, and he was waxing lyrical about Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney, who Dara had at Peterborough. So he knows him inside out, and Ivan Toney is a player who I think may be in the Premier League next season anyway with Brentford. If he's not, maybe it's someone worth looking at. Let me know in the comments who you would take. And Jake Menz here said, would I take Ivan Toney? Yeah, I think, he's 6'4", he's relatively young. He has a bit of everything, to his game. And I would definitely take him. I really would. It'd be interesting to see who we look for in the summer. I know a few people have their eyes on, people like Erling Haaland or Kylian Mbappe, but we need to think, we're in a pandemic. What's the level we're at the minute? We're still not guaranteed top four. So it's interesting. I don't like looking ahead to the summer because I want to focus on the here and now, because we've still got a lot to do this season. And that's the thing. Every time I've been on Anfield Agenda, it's talking about what's to come in the summer, who to sign in the summer. But what I'm saying during this video is, let's focus on the here and now. Let's focus on getting top four. Let's focus on working hard, finishing this season in good spirits after what has been a poor start to 2021. Let's turn it around now. Let's get in good form. Let's push for that top four. Let's push as far as we can in the Champions League with what we've got. And then when it comes to the summer, let's reassess where we're at, reassess the options we've got, and see what's to come then. People talking about Davis, should he start? He has one of what the club call, a minor injury. But when they say that, nothing's certain. He could be out between 8 weeks. It could be 6 weeks. It could be that he's back in the squad for Chelsea. It's an interesting one. But I think for me, I'm praying Fabinho is back for that game. And going into the game, I was really worried about the bench, but luckily we did enough today before Klopp even needed to look to the bench. Also, a bit on Naby Keita. I think, it was really good to see him get 12 to 10 minutes at the end. I thought that was really good to see. And it'll be interesting to see if he plays a bigger role in the Chelsea game. Let me know what you think about that. Skittle says Ivan Toney is brilliant. A comment here from Cube saying Jones is better than Foden. Not quite sure about that. Both outstanding young talents, but I think Foden is slightly better for now. Let me have a look at a few more comments. Well, yeah, this is something we need to talk about as well. Ryan Brewster. I spoke before the season about him and his, what it was a big money move to Sheffield United. I really waxed lyrical about the lad. I thought it was a golden boy. I thought he was a star boy, and I still think he is. He's got loads of talent, bags of talent. I don't think the system at Sheffield United suits him. I don't think he's playing with confidence at the minute. We're seeing his game times reduced with the lack of goals at the moment. And, it didn't come on the pitch today once again. So it is worrying times for him. But I think, a season in the Championship for Sheffield United next season might do him the world of good. So hopefully he can get into Wilder's plans and he's starting regularly for Sheffield United next season. It'd be interesting as well at the end of the season to see if maybe other Premier League teams are interested in him, like Brighton perhaps, who I think are dying for a striker right now. So it'll be interesting to see. Jay Palmer says every player on the pitch today was class. Tika Taka says is right, fella. Let's have a look. Any more? Should Harvey Elliott be called back to Liverpool? I don't think so. He's having a great season in the Championship. He doesn't need to right now. But, in the summer, I think he can make himself a valuable asset in the squad. I really do. But, yeah, let's focus on today. And there's a comment here from Ayush Raj saying Nat Phillips is a better aerial defender than Joe Mabiscuit. I think he's referring to Matip being made out of what's-its or biscuits, as he's saying. But it's an interesting one. Nat Phillips hasn't really put too much wrong. I think we saw when Ollie Burke was on the thing that I've been pointed to for weeks and that I question his pace, which is why I'm a bit worried about that centre-back pairing against Chelsea, because I think Kabak is quite slow as well. But yeah, in the air, he is very, very good. Ryan Brewster is a talent wasted at Sheffield United. Yeah, it is a bit of a wasted talent right now. It'd be interesting to see, as I say, him in the Championship next season with Sheffield United, or if he gets a move to a side where the system suits him a bit better. Swansea, until the last few weeks, were doing really well in the Championship. Will they come up? He was obviously on loan at Swansea last season. Will they look at him if they do come up? Might be a talking point. Cube says Brewster should have signed for an attacking team like Leeds. Skittle says Kabak is quite quick. I've seen some of his games at Schalke. Not from what I've seen for Liverpool so far, mate. He's looked very, very slow. He looks like the kind of player that'll be late for the team bus at the end of the game. Tobias Back says, if Phillips and Kabak start against Chelsea, I can't see it winning, to be honest. Yeah, I would be really worried. The pace they have in that front line and the abundance of options they have to put in that front line, it would worry me with that defence that we had today. So I do think it's important that Fabinho is in it. However, after today, I think we should go into it confident. It's a huge, huge, huge game and they need our support. It's one of them that could decide whether we get top four at the end of the season or not. So, it really is a pivotal game that on Thursday. Jake Men says, Jack Jota be back. Yes, I think he will. We were told today that he's ill, which just shows how things are going for us at the moment. He comes back to training on Wednesday. He probably would have been in the squad today, but he's ill. So fingers crossed he is in the squad against Chelsea. He'll be another one who, can put pressure on that front three if it's not working. If we're struggling in front of goal against Chelsea, we can bring on Jota and see what he can do. give us another good option in front of goal. People saying here, Kabak is rapid, Kabak is solid. MKH31 says you don't always need pace to be a top defender. Agree. You don't always need pace to be a top defender, but it certainly helps. Chicken Boy says great performance. If we have Fabinho back for Chelsea, it's massive. And yes, I agree with that. Fabinho being back for the Chelsea game would be absolutely huge for us. And that's where I'm going to end it right there. Let's cross everything that Fabinho is back for the game on Thursday, but nonetheless, Liverpool boosted by a 2-0 victory today over Sheffield United on a weekend where teams around us dropped points. So, a big win for us this evening. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Curtis Jones, man of the match, and as I did at the start of the video, waxing absolute lyrical about him, and he deserves a start in what is a huge game for Liverpool against Chelsea on Thursday night. Thank you for joining me, and we shall see you very, very soon. Ta-ra.